of Nottingham High School. The mission for it is to create an experiential learning site to get kids outside, and also for those who participate in the garden for them to get food. So this was a schematic map that I showed last year, and it's really the guideline that for what I hope that it becomes. I actually worked on it in a class last year that Reina and other permaculture experts taught. So you'll probably learn more about what that is about later. And this is an idea about what it actually looks like in that courtyard. It's a pretty large and ambitious space, and there's gravel that walks through to a storage closet, and behind it is a tech building. Actually, this little strip here, that corner is a hill. That was the first project to build out with. So we're kind of building from the front inward, and there's now a bed over there. And we started growing typical kind of vegetables for the summer. Peppers and lettuce and tomatoes. And those were pumpkin plants that these two kids were Laxman and Luan, who were really awesome and showed up, pretty diligently. Here and there were a bunch of kids that showed up for one day or another, but these kids were really committed. Those pumpkin plants ended up taking up a huge amount of space and kind of crowding each other, so we learned lessons. This is kind of a timeline of what had been happening after the summer, and growing with the students who, the ones who came during the summer were English language learners. Now we are working with a sustainability club, so I got into transferring to know a bunch of different kids in the school body. We established our goals in September and really got to know about what these kids wanted to do with sustainability and how they wanted to reduce their impact that the school had. In October, we actually wrote another grant to the Educational Foundation and got composters and also other recycling bins into the school. During November, the students started to practice composting at their homes, and they started breeding worms at their homes. And we would meet and shoot emails back and forth to each other in order to have them prepared so that they can start this really next week to implement composting in the schools and through their cafeteria during lunches. And start to advertise for a spring schedule where we are going to actually do the bulk of the work that Dishes has provided for us. This way, I keep on doing that. These are a collection of dates that I'd like for you guys to keep in mind because you guys are all invited to help. The more that people show up and work, the more exciting that it'll be for the students who have been working on this through the year. I already changed the date to March 22nd. I found out that the school play is that weekend. But March 30th, we'll be building beds throughout the day and doing our first plantings. We'll start to order some more plants in the following weekend that those show up. We'll be working on those, so it'll either be that early April or the middle of April. And then we'll also do cleanup days around the Meadowbrook community in order to collect any tree branches that have been broken in the neighborhood and shuttle them over so we can build our own natural raised bed mounds, which has already we've been collecting that over the fall. And that's really it. If you want to get in contact with us and you're interested in it and you're excited about it, because there's a lot of really great work for the summer, sign up over there. We got a list right there. You can also contact me at Reina, Turkey's Real Food Co-op, and the Student Club Ethos has an email address also. So thanks so much for all of this, and it's been great. And
Oh boy. All right, we're ready. Hi everyone, I'm Frank Satira with the AlchemicalNursery. I think we only get 3 minutes instead of 5 like the other presenters, but I want to take a couple of seconds to thank a bunch of people. First, I want to thank the dishes team. I appreciate the opportunity. Second, I want to thank Reina for taking the permaculture ideas and spreading them and teaching youth. I want to thank John Cardone and Sasha Petrovsky, who are board members of the AlchemicalNursery, who are both here tonight for supporting our work. And lastly, I want to thank, raise your hand, anybody who's here who voted for us during the Dishes on the Road? Yeah? Great? Yeah, thank you very much. Let's give those people a hand as well. So, what we've got going on this year is a permaculture installation using food forest gardening principles, and we're going to do this on the near west side. We started off with a multicultural bilingual survey that was distributed to about 7 or 8 sites on the near west side, where we gathered survey responses back, and we asked them a bunch of different questions about the types of foods they eat, where they come from, the nationalities, the cultures, what kind of dishes they make with those foods. We wanted to have an idea of that so we can think about what we're going to plant in these gardens. These are the drop points that we put our surveys out at, and I collected them at again. La Liga, La Casita, Near West Side Business Association, West Side Residents Coalition helped out, lots of other places. And these are the locations where people indicated they were from and finished the survey for us. So lots of people from Puerto Rico and of course Syracuse, and Havana City, and Sebastian, Belize City, some of these other cities that I've never even heard of, so we've got a great mix of people from around the world. The products that they desired. So we had a vast majority of people say that they wanted to see food planted in this food forest garden. You see 105 was the score that the food products received, and 13 number 1 votes. But besides that, we also asked them about the other products that they might want to see. And you can see some of them responded: medicinal herbs, culinary herbs, fine fiber, fuel, and fertilizer. Those are the 7 F's of food forest garden production. And here's the food descriptions. This is what people say they eat in their diets from all these different cultures from around the world who submitted surveys to us. So lots of things that you recognize on here. Some things that might not be available for us to plant here in our temperate climate, but we can create food forest implementations and polyculture designs that support these different products. And here are the specialty dishes that they make with a lot of these products as well. Once again, congri, habichula, lots of different things that you might not be familiar with, you may not have had before, but how we can support growing some products that will enable people to make these dishes. Next steps, design the polycultures, which are the groupings of plants that work together in a perennial system, ordering the plants, calling a dig hop line, doing soil tests, sheet mulching, and volunteer work days in organic matter, copious amounts of organic matter, because really organic matter is going to be the basic health of our new implementation. Here's some examples of sites around the city. What we're going to be doing is planting a right-of-way strip, okay, on the corner of Oswego and West Fayette. And we are going to indicate and show how those underutilized spaces can be used and can be put to good use, particularly for food production. So this is from the Westcott neighborhood, University neighborhood. Okay, you can see all these right-of-way strips planted out. They look beautiful. They're productive. They put that space to use. And then you see this one right here. This is an example of a right-of-way strip that was planted on the near west side. And this person, who's a friend of mine, got a code violation for this. And he had to go and fight it. Okay? This happened to me as well on the near west side, and this happened to another friend of mine on the near west side as well. I wonder how many people on the Westcott or the University neighborhood ever got code violations for theirs. So we want to show not only can you grow food in these sites, but we want to think about the culture that goes along with growing food and landscaping throughout the city. And it's a good thing that some of our institutions are creating some good precedents for us. This is ESF's new building and the strips that they have planted alongside it. And this is the Syracuse Center of Excellence. And you can see this beautiful wildflower beds that they planted outside of their building as well, right down in the heart of the city. But I don't think anybody's going to make them cut. They're wildflowers. And this is food production happening in one of those right-of-ways. This is what a design of a polyculture would look like whenever we get around to taking all those pieces and putting them together. And these are some examples of grown polycultures that exist right now down at the Rama Forest Garden at 3100 South Salina Street, which you can come and help us out anytime as well. So thanks everyone, and we hope you'll come out, sign our form over here to get announcements of our upcoming work days. Visit us at www.AlchemicalNursery.org and contribute to our edible foods Onondaga County and CMI Public Harvest Fund while you're there. Thank you.
Okay, so we counted all the votes.